Oh, wow, take a breath. Yeah, listen, it was a fantastic game of football. Fair play to Atletico, they played their part. But, you know, we spoke about Liverpool this season and where they've gone wrong, what has been good. And I think the game just highlighted it. I think after 5 minutes, you know, me and Jay sat here and said, they're going to batter someone in one game. And I thought, oh, here it is. You know, what good punditry that is. and then obviously they worked their way back into the game. They made it difficult for Liverpool. Liverpool, you know, sort of huffed and puffed a little bit. And then again, they've let a team back into it from 2-0. And, you know, it's game management. That's the problem with what is going on at Liverpool. It's just sheer game management. At 2-0 up, at home, Liverpool should not be letting teams get back into it. You know, you either shut up shop, you make it difficult for them, you take the sting out of the game, you know, and you pick your moments and you score a third, and the game's over. But they don't. They give teams opportunities. And good teams like Atletico Madrid, although they're not blessed with pace tonight, but they've got quality in the team with like Griezmann and Raspadori. They'll hate it if they get opportunities, and they did. And then all of a sudden it's 2-2, and then again, last minute winner. Virgil comes up and he scores a great header. But it should have been out of sight, Rob. It should have been.
Let's have a look at the match stats, which I would suspect will reflect what Jason has just said there about an evening of dominance from Liverpool. Look, 20 shots, 6 on target, 7 big chances created with an XG of 2.6 compared to just 0.34 of Atletico Madrid. I think the point would be, Jay, that because we sat and watched it and said this is the best that Liverpool have played so far this season, that it wasn't necessarily giving up chances, which was maybe what they were guilty of against Newcastle, against Bournemouth. They just had so many chances themselves to make it 3-1, 4-1, and then the game was done. But at 2-1, as Jason said, a team like Atletico are always in it.
Yeah, listen, the game started just like Jason said, electric, and for 45 minutes, probably 45 minutes before obviously Atletico got back into it, I felt Liverpool probably, as a collective and as a team performance, as an all-round performance, it felt probably the best that I've seen this season so far. You know, everything seemed to click, the pressing was right, the passing seemed to find the right pass, they made the right decision, they won tackles, they won headers, and then, you know, the build-up and play and the speed that we attacked, Atletico just couldn't live with. Okay, they had moments in the first half, I think I said to you watching it, like, you know, they were entering our box a little bit too easy, you know, but we defended it well. And then that sucker punch in the first half for me was obviously the goal. That kind of like rocked us. I don't think they deserved to be anywhere in sight. Again, in the first half for me, I felt we should have been 3-4-0 up, just like Jason said. When they get back to 2-1 and go in at half time, you think, you know, for the first 15 minutes of probably the second half, I felt they grew into it. They caused us a lot of problems. But then, again, we had chances to kill the game. I totally agree with Jason. We're giving teams a little bit too many opportunities to get themselves back in. I don't know if whether it's a concentration thing or a control thing or what. But yeah, we've come out up with another fantastic header from Virgil and a set piece to get out a header to win the game.
The first goal, I think, if you look at it, you know, I seen it at the time, and then obviously I've seen it back on the telly. Szoboszlai, he passes his man on. His man makes a run, and he literally just points as if to say, "I'm passing him on," without knowing exactly what's behind him, and there wasn't a defender to pass him on to, and he actually gets a free run. That's how they get in. Now, sometimes, like when we call it the hard work, like and no one likes defending. You know, you want to have the ball and you want to play. Everyone hates running that way or having to stand the player up or defend because it's hard. And you know, but sometimes you've just got to knuckle down and say, "That's my man. If he makes a run, I'm going with him. I'm not going to pass." It's easy to pass him on. Right, he's coming. Do it yourself. You know, take ownership of, like, you're in control of that man. You know where you are. Don't pass him on if you don't know what's behind you. And he did. He passed him on. It was blind, and they've got in. And at 2-0, you know, it's a very precarious scoreline because the minute they get a goal back, they're right back in it. But also the tails are up because there's a belief becomes then, like, we have scored, we've got in, we can create, we can break the deadlock, we can score against them. And we're going to score another one now. And their tails are up, their fans are up. And it was just before half time. It wasn't far off half time, was it? Yeah. You know, that's a crucial time. You know, see it out, get into half time at 2-0. You get in at 2-0, the manager can settle everyone down. You can talk about tactics, you can talk about what's gone wrong, what's gone right. But it's 2-0. It's a nice little cushion. And then you come out in the second half and you build on it. They've gone in 2-1. The tails are up. The manager's tune talk is completely different. You know, do your job. Do your job. That's all you've got to do.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I think it was a similar conversation that I had with David Thompson at the end of the Burnley game, and the tone that Jason is talking to in there, that Liverpool have won the game again. It's 5 straight victories, and it's, I guess, as a coach and as a manager, and Arne Slot is always so measured and must probably go into his room and have a couple of minutes to think about what he wants to say as to where he will strike it. That is a good win. You've won your first group game against one of the better teams that Liverpool are going to play out the 8. But how much will he stress there's this following Newcastle, following Bournemouth? You cannot keep doing this.
I think he'll definitely look back at it. I think he'll go and take a moment before he goes into the dressing room. Listen, I can only speak from like probably what I'd probably look at it, how he'd do it, is that he'll look at it and be disappointed in the goals that we conceded. You know, like Jason said, if someone's let someone run, I'd have to see it back. But if someone's let someone pass him on and hasn't followed him, then he will be disappointed with that. I think he'll look at it as a hell of a lot more positives than there are negatives. You know, it's a fantastic performance first half. Vert is now another top performance for me. I know obviously the chances he had maybe to get the assist or the goal. Look at that. Isaac's played probably 60 minutes. I thought that Jeremy was good on the sides. You know, as a collective, I felt it was a real good positive. I think he'll look at that first and foremost, but then he'll then also look and go on. And what is it that's causing us problems? Is it ourselves or our teams opening us up in a certain way? Are they getting through the middle? Are they getting down the sides? Are the subs that, you know, is he making at the right times? You know, the personnel. So he will look, you know, first and foremost at himself, but as all of his staff will come together and they'll decide on, you know, what is it we want to go after? Do we want to concentrate too much on the negatives, or do we want to just keep trying to roll on the positives and get the lads together and keep moving forward?